fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Geats Buster QB9 from Kamen Rider Geats, and this is the weapon that accompanies his final form, Geats 9. You can see featured very prominently here on the right side of the box when he uses the Boost Mark 9 raise buckle, transforms into Geats 9, and then we get this obvious remold of the Magnum Shooter 40X, but it's actually pretty cool. I really like the look of it with the blade down. I think that's kind of cool. With the blade up as a sword, I don't think it works as well, but we'll get into all that. So here is the front of the box showing off both configurations, and again, Geats 9 over here. On the top, again, just showing you how some of the functionality works. And look, it does actually read the different rider buckles. So, bit of a spoiler there. But in the Magnum Shooter 40X, every time you use one of the Legacy Rider buckles, it just said Kamen Rider. This time it will actually recognize them all. So the reader in this is definitely much better than the Magnum Shooter 40X and is closer to the Desire Driver, which is actually really, really cool. Down here, your usual warnings and whatnot. 3 LR44 batteries are included, so you do not have to provide any batteries for this, which is always appreciated. And then over here, we just have a look at that form, which is absolutely beautiful. And over here, just showing you the two modes that the weapon can have. On the back here, again, showing off the two modes, showing you the different colored LEDs, some of the phrases that it's going to say, and then showing you some of the other compatibility options with all of the other raise buckles. So, very excited for this one. I'm going to go ahead, get everything out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. So here is the Geats Buster QB9 out of the packaging, and you can definitely see that most of it is still the same structure as the Magnum Shooter 40X, but instead of the rifle piece that would flip out, we now have this gigantic blade up here. A lot of really nice silver metallic paint. I think that looks really sharp, and I just love the color scheme on this thing. The red and the white just looks really, really cool. Still have your LEDs in this section here. You have the reader here on the front. We have the trigger. Spinning it around to the back, we still have that little piece here, so you can slide it into one of the side holsters for the belt. You have your speaker right here, on and off switch right here. This is the little battery compartment. This is where you pull the tab out if you would ever need to replace the batteries. Just to press this little tab right here, and the panel will slide right off, and then that's where your 3 little watch batteries are. Now, this is the button that you used to hold down to flip out the rifle piece. This is actually nothing now. It's still kind of cut out because it's the same mold, but you can't even press it down. It doesn't do anything. This is the button up here. So this will extend the blade up and then hold it back down to pop it back down into the gun configuration. So, yeah, that's pretty much it without doing anything. So let's turn it on. So you get a red LED there. It announces its name, and right now it's in the gun configuration, so if we press the trigger, get a generic firing sound there. Holding the trigger down does not do anything. So that's pretty much that. And then if we hit this button, it says Blade to announce that it is now in the sword configuration. I don't think it's that successful as a sword, honestly. It still has the whole, hunk of the gun hanging out here, and I wish the blade was longer, but I see what they're going for. So now that we're in the sword configuration, we get kind of a sword clanging sound instead of a gun firing sound, which is neat. Again, holding this down does nothing, and then if we push this back down, it announces that it is now in the railgun configuration, and we are back to the gun firing sound. Now, it does have the kind of piece back here, the hammer, I guess we would call it, but it's so built in and integrated, I didn't even realize it at first, but we can pull this back. So it says boost charge and then boost tactical victory. You get some nice standby music there. The LEDs go through some of the colors. If we switch it to sword mode, and then do the same, So you get the exact same sound. So using this piece on the back does not change depending on which mode you're in. It's the same attack sound whether you're in the blade mode or the railgun mode. So for the rest of this, I'm probably just going to leave it in the railgun mode just because I think it looks better and it doesn't change any of the sounds. It really only changes the trigger sound when there's nothing attached. When you have the raised buckles attached, it doesn't matter which mode you're in. It just does the same sounds regardless. So I'm going to leave it in this mode for the rest of the review. But that's pretty much it for this on its own. If you don't have any other raised buckles or anything, that's pretty much what sounds you can get out of this thing on its own. But of course we have those raised buckles, so let's go ahead and start bringing them in. So first up, we are going to try our new Boost Mark 9 raised buckle. Now just like with the Magnum Shooter 40X, this piece right here makes it too bulky to be able to connect onto the reader, so we can't use the Mark 3 piece. We can only use the Mark 9 piece. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And then I'm going to go ahead and just flip this piece down to make it fully deploy. And then we'll go ahead and connect it. So there you go. That is the sound effect for connecting that. If we use this piece back here, it's not going to do anything different. It's going to make the exact same sound effect as if there isn't anything connected, but just to show that.
Boost charge. Boost tactical victory.
So whether there's a raised buckle connected or not, using this is always going to make the same sound regardless of the mode it's in. So again, if you just push this back.
Mark 9. Dynamite booster. Boost tactical impact.
So there's no additional sound. If you hit this twice, it doesn't make any additional sound. It just has that boost impact sound. So we'll go ahead and try out some others. We have Magnum here. So when you first connect it, it's going to say the name of the buckle plus booster. That's just always going to be the same. But then if you hit the button on the raised buckle,
Magnum booster. Boost tactical impact.
so the attack sound is always boost tactical impact. It doesn't matter what you have connected. So basically, popping this on, the reader will say the name of this plus booster, and then it'll say it again before it does the attack, kind of standby music, but then it's always that tactical impact sound. So really, it just reads them. It doesn't do any kind of additional sound or attack, but the LED color will match the raised buckle that you have attached. So we'll just run through a couple of fun ones here. So you can see the LED is blue there, and then if we hit the button,
Monster booster. Boost tactical impact.
but it's always boost tactical impact. So I'm not going to actually hit the trigger for every one of these. I'm just going to put it on so that you hear the name of it, and then I'm going to take it off because everything else about it is just duplicating the same noises again. And we got to go meta. Let's do boost on boost.
Boost booster. Boost booster.
So if you just take it off in the middle of the attack, it just kind of cancels the sound there. I just feel like you guys don't need to hear boost tactical impact 100 times. Now some fun stuff. We'll get into some of the smaller ones here.
Drill booster.
So again, the LED color does match.
Drill booster.
Got the Super Sentai buckle.
Saber booster.
So that's interesting. Read it as Saber that time. That's fun.
Super Sentai Booster.
Not sure why I got Saber the first time, but there we go. Super Sentai.
Super Sentai Booster.
And then here is Kabuto.
Kabuto Booster.
So, unlike the Magnum Shooter 40X that always just said Kamen Rider anytime we used a legacy buckle, this actually does read them and know all the different names.
Kabuto Booster. Boost Tactical Impact.
So I think that's pretty cool. I'm not going to go through every possible buckle. I just wanted to do kind of a random assortment there. But basically what it'll do is it will read it. It will say the name of the buckle plus booster. Then it kind of does that little fanfare music. You hit the button on the buckle itself. It'll do that again. And then it'll do the standby music until it gets to the attack, which is always boost critical impact. So that's going to be always the same thing. But I think it's really cool that it can read them all. It definitely has an upgraded reader as opposed to the Magnum Shooter 40X, since it can actually read all of the individual different rider names instead of always just saying Kamen Rider. So I think that's really, really cool. So I think this one's a lot of fun. I think it definitely has more functionality than the Magnum Shooter 40X because it has that upgraded reader. It can actually read all of the different rider names instead of just saying Kamen Rider all the time. I didn't get a chance to try out a lot of the other like upgrade forms. A lot of them don't fit. Boost Mark II doesn't fit. I tried the Yamato buckle. That doesn't fit either. And a couple of the other ones I just unfortunately didn't have handy. So I don't know if they just say great or if they actually say their names. So I'll have to try that out at some point when I can get a hold of those other buckles. But I'd be interested to check it out because, like I said, it really does have an upgraded reader, and I think this is a lot of fun. I love the design of it. Honestly, the color scheme's great. Really nice silver metallic paint here. I appreciate that it has an on and off switch because a lot of times when you have these weapons that have the little pull tab for the batteries, they don't have on and off switches, so I do appreciate that. Again, that's a carryover from the Magnum Shooter 40X because it shares a lot of the same molding. But yeah, it's really fun. I mean, I will say I don't think the blade form is super successful. It's fine, but it is kind of a smaller sword, and the fact that it has a big chunk of the gun hanging off the front looks a little weird. But I really do like the railgun form. I think that's really cool. Again, love the color scheme. And overall, I just think it's a lot of fun. I mean, it doesn't come with an exclusive raised buckle or anything like that. So if you wanted to pass on it, you absolutely could. There's nothing you'd be missing out on. But I think it has a fair amount of functionality. I think it looks really cool. And I think it's neat. I definitely think it's worth checking out. If you want to wait for a sale, totally get that. But I think it's worth checking out at some point, especially if you've been collecting all of the raised buckles up till now, because it's going to be able to read them. So that's really cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.